Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to this webinar. Today we'll be looking at the yen pairs and the pound pairs, as some people are calling them, the majors and the crosses of the yen and the pound. So we'll be looking at the yen in relationship to all other pairs, as well as the pound in relationship to all other pairs. Right? I think there is something happening in these two pairs major, so maybe it's worth looking at them and see whether some of those trades will be good for us in the coming weeks, not just coming days or so, coming weeks probably. So I'll start, and if everybody can keep your chat until the next 30 to 40 minutes, let me go through all the webinar. Take notes of the questions you have. We can always go back and look at that pair when in the question section, right? It's better to do it that way because I cannot read the chat and look at the charts because I'm using two different screens at the same time, right? So we'll start. Today we'll start with the pound. So we'll look at all the pound pairs and let's start on the daily. As usual, I want to give you the long term and then the short term vision of what I think the chart is doing. So let me just move this here. If you look at the daily chart, we are in a downtrend. That's pretty clear. We're now making a move to the upside. The question you're going to ask is this the start of an uptrend that will be going, for a long while? Or is this really just still part of the downtrend as a corrective structure? Right? So as far as I see it as a corrective structure to the upside, as a corrective structure to the upside, and then we're going to have one more downside because I think they need to retest this low. I've been saying that from the top here. They're coming to retest this low, and then we're going to look for the pound to turn to the upside. Now, as you know, I look at wave patterns and I do wave analysis. I'm not a fundamental guy, and I would care less why they do it. Right? I would even, you're not, somebody please help Mark to get some. I would really care less why and how things happen because there's nowhere I will know it. There is nowhere any one of us will know it. There is nowhere, not even the gurus who think they know will know it. Right? It doesn't happen that way. That's not how it happened. You wouldn't know. So the best thing you can do is look at the charts, look for patterns, and trade the patterns. So on the higher time frame, I'll just show you the weekly because I want to show you why I think it's coming there. I think they're coming there to retest this low. And if you know anything of patterns, you would know that if you have an impulse, all of you would have known this. This is what I talked about every single webinar. You're going to get a consolidation and you are going to get another impulse. It's that simple, right? So I think we are now in this other impulse to come back to break this low, finish that impulse, and then probably turn. So ending this structure in an ending diagonal will be a very good idea because we normally see ending diagonals that ends a structure and then turn to the opposite direction, right? So what we're looking for here is this move to complete to the top here to give us an A, B, C pattern as we see here. 4 hour, if you look at it in the 4 hour, you can see that very clearly we have a very sharp move up. And by the way, here's the very important thing that I want you guys to learn. Wave analysis is not just about putting these lines or putting any lines. Because I noticed there are a lot of people, if you're from TradingView, you would see that my charts are being kind of imitated, not copied, but imitated by a lot of traders who have very little understanding of where I put them and why I put them there, but they try to imitate it. Some after the fact, looking at my charts, but some of them are trying to do it. And they may mislead you very much because I've looked at the charts they post, and a lot of the lines are not exactly where it should be or why it should be there. It's not about where it is, it's why you're putting a line here. Especially if you're looking for a structure, you cannot put this here as some kind of a triangular structure. It is not. It is clearly not a triangular structure. So if you can see very clearly, you're going to get an impulse. As I always said, you're going to have an impulse, a correction, and an impulse. You're going to have an impulse, a correction, and you're getting another impulse to the upside. This is clear as days. If you can't see it, don't try to put it, right? Because misleading may be worse than not understanding. Trying to mislead the analysis you're doing. If the analysis is not based on something you do, something you've tested, and something you know, it is better not to try to copy the analysis because you will probably mislead a lot of people. And that is a little dangerous, right? Because the analysis that I'm showing you is something that I've tested. It's something that's really, we have tested this and we have over 100, 200 plus traders almost that I've, you know, taught this method, and who are still with me over 100 plus that are testing it daily and are coming up with questions because we're in the room. They don't go anywhere. They have lifetime access, free lifetime access to be with me forever. They're not paying a monthly subscription. So they're there to see that these analysis work. It's not a set of videos I give them and they go away. That is why we know that these analysis work and they have a very high probability. You know it because you've seen it in TradingView. So just be careful of that. We were looking for this, and I said this very well. If you look at what I said at the bottom here, it may go a little more. The corrective structure may go a little more, but I'm still looking at it as a corrective, right? It may make more downside, but I am not interested in the downside. I'm clearly looking for the upside. I think I read that, right? The pattern is here. The consolidate. So if it breaks, I'm on the upside. I buy. I'm not looking for a sell setup, even if it go, right? Because I don't have a sell setup here. It's very clear as the day. I don't have a sell setup. There are a lot of traders selling that thing, and I was like, no. If you understand wave analysis, you are not looking for a sell there because you don't have a sell setup. What you're looking for is for it to go up, and we all know what happens. It came up, right? That's from the bottom. Now what we're looking for is a consolidation. This thing will likely come to about this area. We will watch this pattern as it go. It could come back here, go back, come back here, go, come back here, go. It's going to make a pattern here that will give us enough information, whether it's turning or whether it's going to go up. So as far as I can see based on wave analysis now, it's clear to me that it's going to turn. If that structure changes, I will post the update in TradingView. But as far as we can see, it's still upside, right? We are going to have a pullback. You can actually look at this pattern and know you're going to have a pullback, and we may get a pretty deep pullback. If we get a deep pullback like this would be a great trading opportunity for one more move to the upside. And if I see that, I will post the update on my chart. Now, do you have a sell setup here? No, but if you're trading in a 15-minute and a 5-minute, you may find a reason to sell there. Not always the best reasons, not always the best risk to reward trades, but you can trade them. Sometimes we even do in our trading room if we see a 15-minute trade with a very good risk to reward. Let's say we're going to go 4-1, 5-1, taking that trade. It's worth risking in it. Otherwise, for a 1-to-1 trade or a smaller trade in a 15-minute, it's not worth it, right? Right now, we still have a very small channel here we need to break. We need to consolidate, and then we will be interested in that trade to the downside if it's coming back for a deeper pullback. We don't know that, right? So what we're looking for in a 4-hour is this thing coming up to the top. So we would be looking for buy setups, which means if we see a very clear buy setup, we will take the trade. So for us, I will post this if I see a very clear buy setup. So if we're looking for the pung to come up to this level and then make a downside, it means we have all the pung pairs should make some upside. And then we may have to be careful for a very strong downside on this thing, right? Remember the last webinar I did all the majors where I was showing you what the Aussie is doing in relationship to the Pung. And I said they all have some more upside and then the downside. And there were a lot of traders and TradingView selling the Aussie like crazy. And I mean, like, please guys, don't do it. I actually even posted an update. Don't do it. Even if it's coming down, it is not in a down trend. You should not try. Fighting the trend is a bad idea. You will lose 10 trades to every. You will get it right once. This is what traders do. They sell, they sell, they sell, they sell, they sell. They lose half of their account and then they win one trade because eventually you will get a trade that goes down. And then you jump and shout how you're a big winner. You're going to lose your account doing that. Because if you're losing 4 trades to 1 trade, your account is going nowhere. If you try to pick the bottoms and top, and every time you have to make 4 or 5 attempts before you get it, you're going to lose your account. Don't do that. Let me go back and repeat something I repeat in every webinar, and I'll repeat it until it's clear to almost the thousands of trader and TradingView. You always look for a concept that's called an impulse, a correction, and then you trade another impulse. Don't try to pick the top, which is a reversal when you have an impulse, up, a correction, and don't try to pick the top of this. No one knows where that top is. You don't know it. I don't know it. Not a single trader in the world knows that. Not a single banker in the world knows that. Right? Even central banks, they don't know where that top is. Some of them will try to control where they think the top is. We have seen the Japanese, they try to control where the strength of the yen was. They failed. How many interventions? 4 interventions failed before it started going up. And that has nothing to do with their intervention. It just started to go up because it was at that area where the structure was ending. 4 interventions, and all of them failed. They don't know where that low is. They don't know where that top or bottom is. Why would you ever think you can know it? You will never know it. Don't lose your account on that nonsense. You will not. So when will this happen? I am expecting a downtrade. I post this in the chart. I'm expecting a big move to the downside. It's just not there as yet. Remember what I said? They're going to crawl up slowly to the top. They're going to crawl up and crawl up and crawl up until they break out. It's still crawling up. That's what it's doing. It's still crawling up. Have patience. Understand structure. Stop losing your account. We still have more upside. You actually have a buy setup here if they break. Right? Why would you want to sell? So it's not ready. It's not breaking. Don't jump into this buy setup. As you can see this structure here, it's telling me there's possible one more down here before they go. Right? It could come down. If it's going to break to the upside, you will wait for an impulse, a correction, and then you buy. It's not there as yet. So where would I be interested in this thing if I'm looking for a sell? Go to the 4-hour. You're looking for a big trade to the downside. Let them break this structure. Let them correct. They will always do. Now you can sit in that trade going for as long as you want. And you would not have fear in you to trade that trade because now you know you're on the right side of the trade. You're not on the wrong side. You're not trying to guess where the top is. You're not trying to pull a trigger because you have an imaginary resistance there. Let me repeat this for those who are coming to my webinar for the first time. What we are looking at is a collection of data. It's data being printed on the charts. If you know anything about charts has 2 axes, and you print data on them. There is no support or resistance in the chart. It's just a collection of data. We are working with data. We are analyzing data. We are not analyzing support and resistance. It doesn't exist. Data has no support and resistance on it. When you plot the data on the chart, it creates patterns. Right? If you plot any data on the chart, you take any type of information and you plot it on the chart, and you can see that it creates pattern that repeats themselves over and over. You can make a very educated guess that if you keep plotting it, you may still see those patterns and they may still behave the same way. Right? I think that's just common sense. If you plot it for 1 year and you see patterns and the patterns repeat themselves, you plot it for next year, what are the chances you're still going to see those patterns or they're still going to repeat themselves? It's simple. It's not magical. It's very simple. And that is what you need to do. Understand those patterns and then trade them. Stop looking for things that don't exist. Stop looking for animals in the chart. Stop looking for support and resistance. They simply don't exist. They're not there. You're looking at data. You could have as well be looking at numbers. You could have as well be, some people still trade pin bars. I repeat this like in 100 of my webinars, and I'll have to repeat it in the next 100. You can change that to a line bar. And you no longer have pin bars. So the strategy of trading pin bar is useless because you're talking about data. And if you're trading pin bar, what you're trading is the design you're using to actually plot your chart. It's not the chart itself. It's not the information on the chart you're trading. You're trading the design. And that's nonsense. You're not supposed to be trading the design. You're supposed to be trading the information you have. What is that information telling you? That is the whole point. What is the information telling you? Right? Is it telling you that it's going to go up or down? That's it. That's all you need to know. right? That is what you're waiting for. It has nothing to do with a pin bar on it. So please don't trade the design. It's useless, right? Some people trade three red candles and then hey, what if I change the color? Then what happens to your three red candle? It disappears. It's not about the red candles or green candles. As long as you guys don't get this, as long as the traders don't get this very clear, they're going to keep making those mistakes. It is not that simple, but it is as well not difficult. Understanding structure, understanding patterns, and then look to see whether these patterns repeat themselves is what is important. It's data analysis. You're analyzing data. Stop looking for support and resistance. They simply don't exist. Anybody who teaches you that nonsense has little understanding of what the chart is doing. Very little. That is why you stick to that horizontal line stuff. It doesn't work. It's going to bounce off here because I have a horizontal line. Well, it didn't bounce. We all saw it didn't bounce. So what happened? What happened to the resistance? It's not like there was a sharp move that broke the resistance. No, because there was no resistance there. And if you guys don't understand that, you're going to lose your account because there is no resistance in the chart. As clear as that. What we look for is patterns that repeats themselves. And if we see something that is new, it's not repetitive, we don't have a pattern that is not repeating itself, we don't know that pattern. But I can promise you, if you understand patterns, you are going to see these patterns that repeat themselves over and over and over, and they behave the same way. Right? We all know when winter will come. It may come a week later or a week earlier, but we all know when winter will come because there's a certain pattern in the behavioral pattern of that. You all know what time you need to be at work, and you know what time you need to be at the bus stop because there's a certain behavioral pattern. That's simple. That's what you need to study. You have to be there. I don't know how much I can repeat it, but I still look at traders do that, make mistakes, lose their account, and then, wonder what happened. So let's go. We're looking for this to come down. It will come down. It's very clearly that there's a high probability for this trade to go down, a very high probability. And if it breaks, I will post the update. Until then, trade with care. Don't take the buy. So let's go back to what we were doing. Pong. We're looking for the upside. If we get that corrective structure for shorter trades to this top, we will take them. All the trades that we get that's a buy setup, we will take them because we're looking for this to come back to the top here. Right? Audio is in and out. Is Damin only is anybody else having that problem besides Damin? Okay, Damin is your side. Please log out and log in back. Damin is one of my traders, by the way. So great. It's only your side. Please do that. Let's go look at the Pong pairs now. If we think Pong is going to go up, what are the Pong pairs going to do? Aussie broke out. We've been looking at this for a while. We've been tracking this trade. We've been looking at this pattern, and we've been saying that this pattern here has to move up at some point, right? Oh, sorry, wrong one. Let me just go back to where I was. I may have just closed that. Let me see if I got this correct. No, I may have just closed it. Accidentally, I probably did close that one. Let me take the trading view back. I'll get it back in a second. And charts. Yep, we are back online. Let's go. Hang on. Yep. We have a breakout. Now, the question is you're going to ask, why don't we buy right now? I think we have to be careful because this is just one impulse to the upside. Remember what I said, after an impulse, what you're going to have? You're going to have a correction, and then you're going to look for your next impulse up. We don't have a correction as yet. This impulse may not be over. Here's what you need to be careful. This impulse may not be over. It may still go up some more. But eventually, you're going to have a deeper pullback, a deeper corrective structure before you go. So if you're trading at the top of an impulse, which is what you're doing here if you're trying to trade this, at the top of this impulse, you need to be very careful. There is a small trade here. Just to warn you, there is a small trade. And I said small because we don't know how far that is going to go based on when this impulse is going to stop. I think we do have divergence in the chart. We can see some divergence appearing right now on a lower time frame. You can see the divergence already there, right, between this top. That does not mean that the move is going to end. We may still get some more moves to the upside. So there is a small buy setup here. it's very dangerous because of this move already, right? So what you're going to look for is wait. What I would do is wait for this to finish and pull back. I'm interested in the longer term trade to the upside. And this may do that pretty fast because the longer term trade in a bigger time frame is what you're going to have a good risk to reward with. Let's go in our daily and show you that. See, they always pull back. They make a move down. You want to measure this? We made a move down. That's about 900 pips, and we pull back almost 800 pips. This move is every single move down, pull back. Every single move down, pull back. And that is what they will do. Every single move down will pull back. Please, if you have any question, leave it for the end of this webinar. Unless there's a problem with sound or a problem with the videos, there's no need to type. Just wait. So what we're looking for here, you may get a short one, but eventually, as you looked at that, we had 900 pips up. Let's see how much is this. This one is already about 500. So there may be a 200-300 pips. I don't think it's going to go 9, but there may be. This one went 9 because it was a sharp reversal with a huge wick in it, right? All of you see that? There was a huge wick in this. That is why we had 900 pips. See that? I don't think we're going to have 900 pips up in the first move here. We should get about 700, which means there's about 200 pips more up. If you want to take the short move, you may get about 100, 200 pips more up. You have to be very, very careful. If you don't have a strategy to trade this, don't do it. If you have a strategy, you know what you're doing, great, right? If you don't, because we're not making trade calls in this room. I'm just showing you what I see in terms of analysis. For longer term trading, you may want to wait for the pullback, or you wait until this goes, or trade it if you want, and then we'll look for the pullback, the bigger pullback for the trade up. So in the longer picture, we're looking for this move to make a very, very huge move up. See? We broke this trend. We made a very deep move, but I still think this deep move may be corrective in nature, which means we're looking at this here as one part of a bigger correction or the entire correction. We can either go back up, or we can go back here, come back here, and then go up, right? So it doesn't matter. This is one move now. So it doesn't matter what we look at it. We can look at it as a corrective structure to the upside, or we can look at it as a total impulse to the upside. Both are showing us an upside with about, I don't know, at least a couple thousand pips to the upside. That should be about 3,000, 2,000, 3,000 pips to the upside. And that would be a great trade. We just broke out. If we can get that 4-hour pullback, 50% of the move up, that would be a great trading opportunity. So don't miss this one. As we're showing, right? There isn't. And this has some more up. The Pung has some more up. Remember, Pung has a big move to the downside. That is when I think this will start to make corrections. Very deep corrections. So very short-term trade if you want to the upside. What you're looking for is deeper corrections. Pound New Zealand, we broke out way back then, right? We posted this one also, warning about wave analysis. And, we'll be following this chart. I remember this one here where people were really going crazy because it went up about 40 pips when I posted that we are looking for a breakout. And this one is going, same thing here. This is moving pretty fast. If you trade this on a lower time frame, there may be trades going up still, but you're still on the first impulse to the upside. So every trade for you is become a higher risk. That at some point this thing starts to correct back to the downside and then go. This is the trade we will be looking for, because that would be a really amazing trade to the upside. 4-hour, we'll be looking for a 4-hour correction. Right now, you're not getting a 4-hour correction. What you're getting is shorter term correction, and this impulse is still going. So if you're taking this trade also here, which you can take in a breakout here, it's a high risk trade. This thing could go like this and start to come back down. You're at the top of the impulse. Just be aware that you're at the top of the impulse. So at some point, it is going to go into correction. So you got to be careful. You can trade it up. Well done, Andrew. A lot of our traders took profit off of this. You got to be careful now because it has some more, probably likely will go some more, but every trade now is a short-term trade because the risk of a bigger correction is very strong, right? Pang Yen, We broke out from the daily structure also. We're looking at this one, not the bigger structure. We broke out of this structure also. And the same thing here remains. Give us a correction. 4 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour. We are actually making that 4 hour correction right now. See? Now, I don't think this one move down is the correction because we know corrections tend to make more than one structure. And then we can look for this trade up, either off the fib or in a breakout. Right? So if we get one more down, and we are likely going to get them, corrections like to have three-wave structures. Right? Very rarely it's one move down. If it is one move down, it is short-lived. So this one is going up also, but I would really, really love to see it. If this you keep going, you can only get an entry from above the top. Don't ask me why. We're not going to discuss that. I'm not giving you trade. I'm just telling you where would be the safest place to enter. Otherwise, to that, I think we wait for this to come back here, and we buy the breakout. Amazing trade setup. They're all out of the trend. So where is this one coming back to? I think this is coming back to somewhere here. And from there, they will talk to us, right? At that point, they will tell us whether this trend to the downside is over or we have one more. They could do this, and we could get one more down, right? We still need to wait to see whether that is going to happen. First, we want this trade to the upside. And the Pong is going up, so is all the Pong trades. They all broke out of very huge down move. So we're going to have bigger corrections to the upside or start of an impulse to the upside. The Pong Yen and the other, I posted that weekly one that some people started to ask really questions. Where do I enter? Right? I don't think you're supposed to enter right now, but you post a chart that is historical and people ask you where's the entry point. You're like, it's just for learning purpose, right? This thing was coming from way, 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 way up here. And this one, I think, is the most amazing one that you really want to pay focus on. I don't have it here, but it came from way up. And we have made a low here. So I think there's rarely a chance that we're going to go to test the low again. We may do that, but I think it's rare. What I think is likely going to happen is we are going to make a corrective structure in here and go back up. Right? That is very, very likely. So, excuse me. On a daily, we're breaking this. We will watch this daily downtrend line, put it in a 4 hour, wait for the correction to finish and take the trade. I think this correction is just having 1, 2, and we could get 3 legs before we go. A pretty much simple ABC pattern, right? So if you're part of a, I don't know, advanced pattern guide, this may be one of your wonderful trades if you do it correctly. And you look for this and you get this and then you get this here. It may be a good trade, right? And then hourly probably. But like I said, when you know wave patterns, advanced patterns is no longer valid to you. These are no longer valid when you know wave patterns. You'll be looking at the 50 or the 618, whichever, right? It really doesn't make a difference. We really don't look at them. We look at the structure. So maybe some more pullback, and then we get the trade to the upside, right? I always like to trade the impulses. They move fast and they move good. I don't like to trade in the consolidation because that is a headache. Now, every now and then you get a good trade in the consolidation, but it is a real headache. You're living in trades that will make you go crazy for days before they even go. And if you know anything about that, you can remember I post this one, the cat. Don't buy it because it's actually, don't buy this stuff. You're not supposed to buy that. When you look at the chart, just one look at the chart will tell you, don't buy that stuff, right? This is from the chart that I posted. You're buying in the wrong place. If you're in that buy, you're probably even positive. But do you really want to live through this? I mean, you will be in there for days before you get 20 pips. We still having problem with the song. Okay, that means you need to log out and log in back. It could be your side. Right? Let's go. So these are the trades you want to catch. This is the trade you want to catch. And if you focus on this buy to the upside, here's what's going to happen to you. You're going to miss this trade. Because I doubt if you're in a buy, you're going to close that buy and suddenly go into sell. Emotionally, you're not ready for that. You wouldn't be doing that. you would actually want that buy to go more. And you're likely going to even keep your stop where it is because you think it's going to go up more. Because somebody has a line that says it's going to go like that. Well, it's not going to go like that. Look at the structure. And this is easy to see if you're looking at the structure correctly. If you're not putting imaginary support and resistance on the chart and you look at the structure correctly, you can see clearly that every time they did something like that, they came down. Every time they did something like that, they came down. Every time they did something like that, they came. What is the chance they're going to go down? Is that easy? What are the chances this thing could still go down? If it's that is what it's doing every single time. And we're in a downtrend. Not only are we in a downtrend, we broke the monthly trend line. We're in a huge downtrend. That's the monthly trend line. Monthly, I put it in the weekly so you probably see it better. That's the weekly monthly trend line that we broke. So, and we are still in this daily trend line going down. We haven't. We will eventually make a deeper correction up to come down. But that is not happening as yet because we're still under the daily trend line. Not until we break that daily trend line would I be start looking for buy setups. Now, like I said, every now and then you will get lucky if you buy in those corrections. But don't bet on you getting lucky every time because I'm pretty sure most of the times you're going to be unlucky. And if you're honest to yourself, your account is showing it. How unlucky you are, how many times you lose that. How many times you try to pick the bottom and you lose it? Oh, cat is going to turn now. No, it's not. Right? Because it's telling us it's not turning. Now, could the cat just suddenly make an impulse to the upside like that? Could. Like I said, every now and then you are going to get lucky. It's pure luck. But don't bet on yourself getting lucky every time because most of the time it will do this and take your stop out. Most of the time it will do that and take your stop out. Most of the time it will do this and take your stop out. And that will happen to you more often than you getting the lucky side of it. So you have to be careful when you're trading these things. Look for a sell setup if they break. If they do decide to go up, when it's over and above the trend and making a consolidation, we will get enough time to take those trades. You will see those trades very clearly. It's just not ready. It's in a downtrend. Don't try to pick the bottoms, guys. You don't know where that bottom is. Any assumption that you know that this is the bottom will teach you a lesson. And it's going to be a very tough lesson because you're going to feel it in your account. Right? Don't do that. Save yourself that headache. You don't want, if you're in this trade from last week, you're still upside down and you're worried and you're nervous and you're having emotions and you're like, what should I do? Should I close it? I'm 5 pips up. I was 5 pips down. Now I'm 20 pips up. Then I was 20 pips down. And darn, I can't live through this. I'll have a heart attack before it goes. Of course, you're in a roller coaster. You're in an emotional roller coaster right now. Because every time it makes a little move up, you're happy. Every time it comes down, it throws you into the headache what to do, right? And you know why you're at that? Because you have no clue what you're doing. You have no clue what this thing could do. But I'm telling you, we clearly have a plan how to trade this. We have a very, very clear plan with strict rules how we're going to trade this. So we're not in the trade. We're not in that roller coaster. We're waiting for it to do what we think it needs to do to prove the downside, and then we will sell. If not, it needs to break the trend line, make a consolidation, then we will repeat our process again. Only this time we'll be looking for a buy. And we are not living through those roller coasters. You don't have to live through them. This is where traders break their trading psychology. This is where you become from an excellent trader that you could be into a really messy trader trading in this thing. Right? Because now if you lose one trade, you have to prove, oh, I'm going to get in again. And then you lose the second trade. Oh, no, this thing is going, I'm going to get it. And then you do 4 trades and you lose all 4 trades. And then you're like, darn, I'm not trading. And then watch it fall or go up. And that really damages your psychology. You must understand what is happening in the charts. Remember, the number one thing in becoming a good trader is understanding what you're doing. Analysis, that's what's the most number one thing important. Analyzing the chart correctly. Because if you do that, the psychological part of it, which is very important, is going to be less stressful for you. Because you have a very clear vision as to what the chart is going to do. And if it does that, you're in the trade. If it doesn't, then you don't have to worry. People call me and say, "Can you post this chart for me?" I'm like, "Well, there's nothing happening in the chart. Why should I post it?" "Oh, I'm in the sell and I don't know what to do." Well, you shouldn't be in the sell. So if you're in a sell, I'll send you a chart what you can do since you're already in the sell. But we're not. We're not even looking at the charts because they're charts we don't look at for weeks because there's no reason to look at it. It's in a consolidation. There's no reason to trade in that consolidation because you're likely going to lose money. If you get lucky, you win. Most of the time, you're likely going to lose money if you do that. Right? Believe me. And you know it for yourself. So let's go back. Now we're in the Pung CAD. Let's look at the Pung. We looked at the Pung Oz, Pung New Zealand, Pung Yen, Pung CAD. Let's look at the Pung Chief. This one I have been warning about that it's going to go down a lot. And I posted the weekly chart, I posted the daily chart, and traders were still going crazy. It's in a downtrend. Remember, I posted this chart. It's still in a downtrend, and we had some trolls going really crazy. Well, it still went down. That's the whole point. It still went down. It's amazing sometimes. These guys comes and they start really, for whatever reason. I think it was somewhere in here we posted this thing was still in a downtrend, and it's still in a downtrend. Now we broke the downtrend. Now we broke the downtrend. So what? If you're in small short-term trades, like I said, that's great. If you're not in short-term trades, what are they gonna do? When they were going down, they pull back. When they were going down, they pull back. Now if they're going up, they have to pull back and then go. This would be your trade. This trade here will be your trade. Don't try to jump in at the top now. You're at the top, right? This is the top of an impulse, an ongoing impulse. It may go some more. Like I said, it may go some more. But that's trying your luck. You're testing your luck too much if you try to take this little piece going. Let it go and wait for that 4-hour daily correction. If you look at when these came down, you had a lot of corrections. You had a lot of opportunity to get in. They always correct. Look at this one. This moved down, correct. This moved down, small correction. Ignore that. This is your big correction. This is your big correction. This is your bigger correction. This was your bigger correction. This is a correction. All these are corrections that we post you can sell. Now wait for the upside to prove it is going to go up by giving you a corrective structure, right? When they give you that, and if you don't understand what corrective structures are and how they should behave and where you should enter, well, then you need to learn it. This is what you're looking for. This would become your amazing trade. That is the trade that will double your account. Not trying to jump into it right now. That will not double your account. That will break your account. Right? So wait. Right now, why I'm showing you all these trades now, because they all have very great setups coming. I'll be posting charts in them. Not all of them. Some of them I'll be posting as I see them. If I'm there when I see it's about to happen, you guys are going to get those trades. But I can't promise I'm going to post everything, or I'm going to post exactly when we are entering the trade, or I'm going to post what is our strategy. I will not give you that because that is reserved for my trading room and for my traders. Right? That is where I teach them how to do this stuff, and they do it. So I cannot be sharing all of that. So a lot of people like to ask me, right? Okay, can you tell us where you're entering the trade? No, I can't. So I don't even answer to those questions as to where is your entry, where is your stop? No, I can't give you them. If you don't know how to do that, then you need to learn to trade. The charts I'm posting are giving you clear vision of the direction they're going to go. It means you have to have a strategy to trade it. Because if you don't have a strategy to trade that, you need to come and learn how to do that. Because when you learn how to do it correctly, now you're going to have a strategy to trade it, and you need not worry. Right? You're not going to ask me. Even my traders don't ask me for where is the entry and where is the stop, because they know we have rules as to where it has to be. Very, very strict rules. Where and how you enter a trade. What is your strategy you're trading? What is the trade setup? Very, very strict rules. It's not up to them to decide that. It's up to the rules. It has to fit those rules before you can take the trade. Long-term, short-term trade, it doesn't matter. We have rules for all of them. And if they fit the rule and it doesn't work out, that's a different story. But if they follow those rules, they're going to be in the right side of the chart most of the time. See? So wait, that you can see all the yen, the dollar, the pound pairs are showing us some correction of a bigger nature. 4-hour one daily is about to happen. Don't jump in the trades too much. They may go 50, 100 pips more, and you may become a good bragger if you jump in and it goes 100 pips, and traders come back. Oh well, I took the trade and I went 100 pips. I don't know what you're talking about, and then they buy again, and it drop on them and they lose 400 pips, and you never hear from them again. Seriously, it happened. One guy wrote me directly on Skype. I don't know what you're talking about. Look, I was in the trade in it. I went 40 pips up more, right? And I'm entering a second trade on it. And I think it was the next hourly candle dropped about 150 pips, and I never heard from him again. Very likely you're not going to hear from him again, right? But, I just ignore those. But it was very funny to me because the very next hour, the candle dropped about 150 pips. Because it was expected to do that. And that's what I was saying, right? That the structure is going to come back. It's going to correct. And he started bragging, I don't know what the hell you were talking about. The structure is going to correct. I made 40 pips. And I was like, okay, great. No big deal. But then the next candle, the next hourly candle dropped. And I was like, oh, what happened to that guy? I'm not, sometimes I'm sorry for these traders. Mostly I'm sorry for them if they don't start becoming trolls. Because we're all here to help each other. That was the whole idea of the trading view community, is to help each other. That's why we post our views. The only reason we're posting our views there is to help people. Right? I'm posting my charts so I can help you understand the way I look at charts, the way you should look at charts, what is important when you're looking at charts. I'm not giving you a trade. I'm trying to help you understand what you should be doing correctly. Basically, right? That's the whole purpose of the entire trading view community. That's what we should be doing there. And that's why I like that community. That's why I like the trading view charts. Because they gave us that great opportunity to do that. Right? Help each other. I see people post trades that I disagree with totally. I think it's a dangerous. I'm going to post my view on that chart. It may be an opposite view, but that's my view. So it gives you a warning as to somebody else seeing something in the chart. You don't have to agree with me. There's no reason we have to agree with each other. We can have different strategies. We can have different directions. We post our views and let everybody have a choice. If all of us agreed on the same thing, it's likely it's going to happen, right? That's a higher probability trade. But when we disagree, traders should have a choice. Oh, we got to be careful. These are two guys showing two different versions. Let me look at the two versions. What are the bases of the analysis? What are the bases of the trades? And then you will decide, right? So look for that. 240. Let's go. Wait for the correction. It's going to correct. So we finished all the pong pairs. We didn't do the euro pong. I will not do the euro pong because for reasons that the euro and the pong is very close. The euro is also doing pretty much what the pong is doing now. They're not correlated. They're just moving the same way. The pong is moving a little faster. We're going to do the yens now, and then I'll leave some time for questions. So I'm going to go through the yen pretty fast and leave some time for questions, right? Let's go to the yen pairs. Yen broke to the upside, right? Remember this yen structure. I've been saying it's a corrective structure, right? Yen is trying to trend to the upside. We've got a sharp impulse up. All of you remember this. A lot of you made money in that. We're correcting that. Now, I don't think this is all the correction. I'll be honest with you. It could be. This is a yen pair, but I don't think it is. I think this move will go up, and we may get one more move down before they go back up. It is likely. It is not definite it's going to happen. We would look at this trade going up and then decide that. But I'm also thinking it's looking upside. So put it in a daily. You can see we are breaking this trend here. The same thing. The same rules apply. You wait for a consolidation, and we are getting one right now. We're getting a consolidation right now. See? We are in a consolidation right now. Likely we're going to see some more downside, and then we're looking for a trade to the upside. Right? So my main focus is looking for a buy unless they break this trend. I'm looking for a buy setup, right? And because they're out of the trend, they're likely going to come back to this trend line. There's that bigger trend line. Go back in the 4 hour. There's a much bigger trend line up there that we're looking at. Somewhere at the top here. Where's the daily chart? Okay, I don't have it on. There's a bigger trend line running something like this at the top here, right? So we may be trying to get back to this trend line here. And that will be a great trade if we look at it, if it happens, right? So let's keep an eye on this one. We're looking for a buy setup. Very clear 1 hour buy setup. Sorry. Yen pairs. We're looking at euro yen. There's the euro yen. Get it? Euro yen upside, looking for a buy setup. Euro yen is still in the downtrend, right? Euro yen is still in the downtrend. So be careful. Let me just remove all this stuff. This was the chart I posted. We're still in this downtrend, but at some point, oh, sorry, I moved this. Let me take it off. At some point, I think this thing is going to be ready to go up. On the weekly chart, you can see clearly we may have made a three-wave correction already. 1, 2, 3, and this is ready to go up. And if this is going to go up, this is an amazing trade you don't want to miss. If the structure is going to support the total upside, you don't want to miss that trade. But if there's more correction in it, and there could be more correction in this, we're probably going to go up pretty slow, and then we're going to come back down again, right? But we will stay in a sideways move. So which will it be? Will it be a fast move up or a slow move up? Let's see when they break first. They need to break out of this downtrend. We are still in the downtrend. 4 hour, we're looking for a buy setup to the top of that downtrend, and then we're looking for total breakout of the structure. I think we're going to come down some more, and then we're looking for a buy setup. Yep. So there may be a short downside here, not a trade I'm interested in. And then we're looking for this trade to the upside, right? There's a buy setup in there, and I'll take this off because I think they're going to come down now. So we'd look for this trade here, and then we'd look for that trade. I'm not interested in this short-term trade. I'm interested in the trade to the upside. And if this trade breaks out, I'm keeping it. If it doesn't break, I'll move my stop very tight and be taken out. But if they break, I'm keeping that trade. Right? Is the sound good for everybody? Okay, if you're not hearing me clear, then you need to look at your side. It's a problem on your side. So let's go. Pong Yen. We looked at the Pong Yen just now. So let's think for a second why I'm saying this is the most amazing chart I think that we have. If Pong goes up and Yen goes up, what is this going to do? This is going to be a really, really amazing trade. So if you look at Pong and we think Pong has a correction to make and then go up, and we look at Yen and we say Yen is likely looking upside, you really want to focus on the Pong Yen. Because if this starts to move and those two are going up together at the same time, this is going to be a real magical one. Right? Yes, the recording will be published. So everybody will have a chance. We just hit the 200 record, so it's the highest that we have had in these type of webinars. We have had more than 200 in webinars that I do before, but not these types. So good. I'm glad you guys are here. Let's go. CAD Yen. Let's go through them as I see them here. CAD Yen. Well, CAD Yen, remember we were looking for the CAD Yen for probably a bigger downside from this trend. Let me just show you the trend. Let's take off everything in this. I'll spend a couple seconds on the CAD Yen because it's important. And it's important in the way we look at structure. So let's look at the CAD Yen in general. This is what the CAD Yen charts look like. And this is your trend. So the original thought we had when we were in the room was that they're going to bounce off of this and they're going to give us one more move to the upside. Right? We're looking for a 5-wave structure. A 5-wave corrective structure, by the way, W, X, Y, X, Z, and then the downside. Right? So what we all did, most of us in our trading room bought the low. And guess what happens to us? Some of us got some pips. Most of us got break even, including myself, because as you would have seen, it went up and it came way back down. And we actually picked the bottom. So we got break even because we were saying, darn, this thing is going to go up. It didn't go. So we said, okay, maybe they're trying to stay within this structure one more down. They did come down. Our traders sold. It went back. Some people got break even. Some people took off some profit. So they were lucky. So we broke that trend. We are now in this trend. And I am still looking at this structure here now, this piece here now, as a corrective structure because of the nature of how it looks. That this here may still be a corrective structure for the downside. So we're in it, and let's look at it in the daily. There is a high probability that they could also go up, because if you look at this, you may be looking at an impulse, a correction, and another impulse going up. So to this top, there's a likely trade to the upside. If yen is going up, yen pairs will go up. So there's a trade to the upside to this top. And from this point, we're going to see what happens. From this point here, we will see what happens. Right? So in a 4 hour, we're in an uptrend. And we're in a 60-minute uptrend. So what we can do here is if we get any pullback like this. We can look for a trade to the top, right? That is what we are looking for right now. That is the trade we are looking for. If we don't get that set up, I will repost I'll post the updates on the Cadian. I have a Cadian chart out there. I'll post the updates in it. I'll actually create a new chart in Cadian and repost it so that I can make more updates for you guys there. Aussie yen. Let's go to the Aussie yen and take a look. See what Aussie yen is doing. Daily. Aussie yen also. We're looking at this structure here. This bigger structure is in a downtrend. We're looking at this bigger structure for a big move down. As I posted, they will come retest this low within this structure. Within that structure, they did came down some. Some people took some profit, but then it went back. You should have come off of that trade. You're not going to keep this trade to go back all the way there. That would be crazy. That means you really don't know what you're doing, right? So most of my traders who were in the trade got out of the trade. And then we were looking for this downside when they broke that. It did come down, gapped a little, and then went back, give them break-even trades. And now we're looking at the top of this. We're not in the trade, and we're waiting. Two things we're waiting for. Break this top and pull back, and we will buy. Break the low and pull back, and we will sell. Simple. Not difficult. And that has nothing to do with any support and resistance in the chart. One out of those two trades are going to be amazing. Let's wait for that. New Zealand yen, not very keen about this. We're still in the middle of nowhere. And if you look at this structure, you have no clue what it's doing. It looks corrective. It's not clear. We're staying out of this. And I think you should stay out of that chart. Swiss yen, this one is much more clear. And I think this one is likely going to go up. Right? We're looking for this to, as a matter of fact, you're getting some very nice consolidations here to buy into. Right? So if you were already in the buy and you got break even, you're getting real nice consolidations here to buy on this breakout. This is really good setup. And this one, when it goes, is going to get to this top. At that point, we'll be at a daily trend line, and then we will decide if they're going to give us one more down or it's going to go up. This one has a three-wave pattern here already. I wouldn't be surprised if they go up. I would not be surprised if that thing goes up at all because it's set to go up, set to break out. So you probably want to focus on this trade. This may be a very nice trade as well. Let's see if the hourly is not ready. We'll allow it to come some more, make some sideways, and then we'll look for that trade. It's still in the consolidation. Could be, Dennis. We're not looking at the structure in terms of the wave count, and we will not discuss it here. You know that. Sorry, I was going to click silver. I'm looking at more yen pairs. Do we have more yen pairs? No. Those are all the yen pairs. So we've gone through all the yen pairs, right? Silver, by the way, this is an amazing trading. If you guys trade silver, wait for a pullback and buy some more silver. It will pull back. It's definitely going to make some pullback. Maybe not very deep, but it will make some pullback, and then you're going to have some really nice. Hey, that's great. If you have physical silver, that's amazing. I wish I had an opportunity like that to buy physical silver. I would have, because then you don't have to worry about anything, right? The gold chart are also posted. Gold is more in a consolidation. We'll look at gold last, and then we'll take some questions, right? Gold is mostly in a consolidation here, and I think they will make some corrections up here like this, and we may retest this low before they go back up. It's going to go up. It's just making a consolidation, as you can see, right? I post this charts. I hope you guys are following my charts and clicking some likes to me there, right? If you like the chart, of course, right? We're looking for this. It's going to come here. I'm hoping it's going to go up. So we're looking at a three-wave consolidation. They do that very often. Look at the bottom here. Up, down, and then they went down, right? 1, 2, 3, and then they went down. I actually posted this structure, and we were following this structure, right? Remember we said this is going to go down? We had a slightly different trend line to see what happened. Come here and then downside. That's what they did. They went down, right? Trade was for them to finish this pattern here. We're looking at a 5-wave pattern. They actually came down a little earlier, and they came down much steeper than we thought they're going to go. They did come back to the trend line. They broke the low, and they were ready to go up, right? So you can make a forecast where you think it's going to go, where price you think it's going to go, but you don't know how price will get there sometimes until it starts moving, and then you can follow that structure, right? But it's a well-known structure. It's not that's not something new, right? So we would look at this. I think they're going to come here and they'll make a flat and then they'll go back up. So let's see. We don't know that for sure, but we think that is what it's going to do. If it starts doing that, you have a sell setup and then you have a buy. I would be focused on the buy right now. I'll probably even ignore that sell. If I was trading gold, I don't trade gold. I trade silver, right? But we have traders who trade gold and make a lot of money on them. We have Sherman in the room. Sherman is a big gold trader of ours. He trades very well. So, okay, guys, let's get questions now. All the questions. I'm open for questions. You ready? Let's get some questions. The analysis, it works in all charts. I actually posted some Bitcoin analysis since you're asking whether it worked on that. Let me just show. I posted these on request because I don't trade Bitcoin. And one of the first analysis I think I posted was when I was looking at this and I said, you know what, this whole thing here looks like a corrective structure and it's going to go up. So I posted this Bitcoin structure. I think this is going to go up because it's looking corrective, right? See, we were looking for more like this structure. They did go up to that top, and they came down back, and then they went up, and then they came down back, and then. So did we see this trade coming? Sure. Once we saw what they were doing, once we saw what the corrective structure was, right? Once we figure out that this whole thing here is the corrective structure, it was easy to figure out what it's going to do next, right? It was easy to figure out. See that green arrow going there? I actually described the whole chart showing you with the wave counts in it, which I don't do very often. I did this for Bitcoin because I don't trade Bitcoin and people ask me for it. So I showed them what you were looking for. And that arrow was a short arrow. You see that arrow there? That was a short one. Look where that trade went. All the way to this top. The C wave was here, but look where it went, right? Amazing, right? Amazing. It works in all charts. It does not matter what the chart is. So what we're looking for here, this is going to go up more. I said you're looking for more upside because I was looking at this as a triangular structure. By the way, it is not a triangular structure. That's why I changed it. We're going up, but it's not a triangular structure, right? This is not a triangular structure. It's an ABC. And we're looking for this starting from here. We're looking for that wave up, right? It's a slow wave. So that means when you break the top. By the way, this one I posted because somebody asked me, should I be buying now? And I was like, no. You really did. When that thing made the top, should you be buying? I said, no, wait for this correction to happen. It's going to make a big correction, a really big correction, right? See that? From that top to here, see that big correction it made? It's making a big correction. I warn them, don't buy. You don't want to get into any buy at the top of a big impulse, which is what I was just saying. If you're looking at the Pong odds and the Pong New Zealand odds, you don't want to buy at the top of a big impulse because you have to wait for this to happen. You're trapped in that in a buy it. You're waiting for years for that to happen, right? That's a long time. Rubles, I've been tracking rubles for one of my good friend here in Russia for a long while, and I have a 1 minute chart on all the charts, a 1 minute video on all the charts I did on rubles. I posted out, I deleted because it's just 1 minute. It's not in line with all the charts I do. So I'll probably post the charts on that. We can't look at every one of them here, right? That's going to be a headache. But I'm expecting this to make some. It's actually going slow here, which means at some point we're going to get this correction. They have to confirm the downside. They have to make a move up, confirm this. But I think in the longer term, ruble has a very big some weakness to come because we may be looking at this whole structure here as a big sideways structure, right? Eventually, we're going to come back to retest that 90, but that's a long way from now. First, we're going to see some strength in the rubles, some nice strength in this. You can see this. I post these charts often, so if you follow the charts, you'll see them. I'll post follow up on the rubles for you guys. Questions? Let's get some real good questions if you're interested. Somebody is asking, how do you join the course? It's easy. I actually did my last webinar. Please look at the last webinar if you don't know what we do in here. So give me 5 minutes. If you're interested in the course, for the next 3 minutes, I'll tell you what we do in here, right? What we are about. So if you're interested, if you're really not interested, you can really go because after that, I'll close the webinar. I know not everybody is interested in the course. So let me just tell you what we do in here. What we do is we have a trading group, a good trading group, excellent people in that group. The guys in that group are very amazing. And we have a trading room where they get together and they trade together. That is run by the traders. They discuss trades based on our analysis, and they take trades based on our analysis. Right? That's what the trading group about. You get access to that group and that room Absolutely free once you take the course, once you understand how we do our analysis. Right? What is a training course? The training course is a 6 weeks training. 1 week is theory from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. New York. We have the theory where I teach you, I show you the stuff on the live charts, basically non-prepared live charts. I don't come in with a set of PowerPoint and show you this is how it be. I pick a live chart, take off everything, and then I show you all that I'm going to teach you about charts in a live chart. In a live chart with no preparation. Absolutely no. I don't use PowerPoint. Not in my webinars. Not in my teachings. Because anybody who uses PowerPoint has very little understanding what the chart is doing. You know why they use PowerPoint? Because they can't show you it in the live chart. It's much easier to pre-prepare this thing and then come and recite it and show you some excellent moments in the chart that they have selected. Well, what about you take a live chart, take everything out and show us? That's how I teach my traders. Actually, they get to choose which chart I use to teach them. The first day of the class, I ask them to select which chart they want me to use, and that is the chart I'll be using for the rest of the classes. There's 5 classes that I do. Then they go and they practice what I showed them for 2 weeks. The practice session is a 24-hour session. We have 4 time slots within a 24-hour period. So you will find a period that suits you to do practice. They're all through the day from 10 a.m. London time all the way to 12 midnight London. So you will find one of those sessions that suits you, no matter where you live. Right? That is how the training goes. Another 2 weeks of training, 1 more week of theory, and 2 more weeks of training. After that, you are just starting because you remain in the group. You get access to our trading group. You get access to the 2 daily webinar I do, and I do 2 daily webinars. You actually get access to those, and you actually get much more practice. You get to practice daily with us. So if you want to join for the June group, you need to join now. It's starting on the 30th of May. It is going to go all through June and part of July. You have to join now because it's getting full already. It's going to be full very soon. I think there are about 10 or 15 spots remaining, somewhere there. So you need to join now. This is how you join. It's easy. Skype me. I don't have a website. I'm not doing this as any big business. Just Skype me. I will have to talk to you, and you have to be qualified. There are a number of things that needs you to qualify, so you know. My Skype is MANGAL457. Add me to Skype. I will send you the basic information about the course, and then you will do then we will talk, and I'll give you all the rest information after that. The marathon. The marathon is what Nora is telling you. She's one of traders. We do this regularly for all my traders who finish the course and they need more practice. What we do is very simple. From 8 a.m. Moscow time to 8 p.m. Moscow time for the entire day with a few small breaks in between, we do what we call the marathon. You get to train. Any one of you who took the course, you get to show your charts, and we group you. We correct you. We ask you questions, and you learn, and you learn, and you really learn. You go through that marathon, and you learn something. It's like running a marathon. You really learn something about your skills. So those are amazing things to do. We do that very often in our group. By the way, you're here to learn, and you have a lifetime experience to learn. And you have people like really amazing people in our group. No, you don't have to call me. Just add me to Skype. I'll give you the information. I use Skype because it's much more effective than emails. I check emails once a day, and I have a ton of junk email coming to me. I can't figure out the good ones from the bad ones. Sometimes I just delete them all. If you Skype me, the people in my Skype, you get an immediate answer because I'm on the computer most of the time, and I can answer you immediately in Skype. The cost of the course, you wouldn't believe. It's just $2,500 for a lifetime. You wouldn't have to pay a single cent for the rest of your life. Not a single cent. You're not going to be charged any monthly subscription ever. If you're subscribing to any site that charges you a monthly subscription, unsubscribe today. Go and do it right now because what they're doing is money making off of you. They're making their money off of your subscription. It has nothing to do with trading. They're not intended on making you a good trader. Here is my plan. If I teach you to trade good, why should I charge you to trade? If I'm telling you that my course will make you understand how to trade, will make you a good trader, why should I be charging you a monthly subscription after that? It means I'm not sure the course is giving you everything, or you're not going to learn this stuff. So you got to pay me extra money for that, right? No, if I don't do it anymore, we have some excellent traders in the room to do that. Don't worry about that. It is lifetime. Those traders are not going away anywhere. Like I said, the trading room is run by the traders, and that is where you have lifetime access to. You will still have lifetime access to that group. It's not going anywhere. Don't worry about that. We have, by the way, I have four of my top traders who are helping with the training session. And if I am not here for any reasons, please don't tell me I'm gonna die. If I'm not here for any reason, those guys will do an excellent job to continue it, right? Those guys will do a great job to continue to do it because they're very good at it. They know what they're doing. You can ask the question. You don't have to ask the question. That's two questions. Go ahead, ask the question. Any question, anyone. Go ahead. Let me see if I missed anything. How you can read the chart on daily, weekly. That's what I've been answering to you. Take the course. That's what we're talking about for the last 5 minutes. The next course after June may be till in September. You better start signing up early for that one too if you want. Remember, it's a single payment. Here's the calculation. It's a single payment. The earlier you join, the better for you. You only pay once and you have the rest of your life to enjoy it. People who joined us 2 years ago are still with the group, enjoying it. They're trading, they're successful, they're still having fun with all the guys in the room. And it's an amazing place to be. And they don't have to pay anything for that. They can leave for a month, a couple of months, and come back, and they're still in the group. Nobody's moving them anywhere. No, you wouldn't need any special software. Skype me. It's simple. All the questions about the course, Skype me. You wouldn't need any software. How to identify the first wave? That's easy. Join the group. I'll teach you. How do you pay? Skype me. I'll tell you. Why do you have the impression I've been training for more than 5 years? Well, because of the knowledge I'm sharing with you, probably. But there are people in this group now who knows when I started. They're actually in my group. Victor, you're here. Victor knows exactly when I started. I started with Victor, by the way. We had the same guy trying to train us until we start training him, right? We had the same guy trying to train us. And then I just decided this guy is talking a lot of nonsense. He was teaching us support and resistance, by the way. You wouldn't believe that. My first training course that I paid $5,000 for was to learn how to trade support and resistance. Imagine how crazy that is, right? I paid $5,000. I knew nothing about trading. I paid $5,000 to go and learn support. And Victor was there. He knows me. That's where I met Victor in the first place. And not only Victor, Sherry was from there. A lot of people in this room were actually who took that guy course, came back and they were with me taking my course. Sherry is there. There's a lot of other guys I met there, right? We paid $5,000 to learn support and resistance. You wouldn't believe that stuff. You'd know TradingView Pro account you don't need it, but I love the TradingView charts. If you can afford to sign up for their Pro, please do it. They're great people. They really need that support, right? Because remember, they're giving us an amazing product. They need finance to keep it up. Do I know a guy named Ramki? No, I have no idea who that is. By the way, I'm not from India, so if you're going to talk about people from India, I wouldn't know them anyway. Yep, and the head fakes and all of those things you're getting. Carlos, I think if it's the same Carlos we're looking at, he was also in with that guy there. Those head fakes and false breakouts and all those things. 614, how to count the waves. Join. That's what I'm telling you. I'll teach you how to do it. Oh, it's the same Carlos. Yeah, you remember that, right? We were there, and so by the way, the guy who's asking the question, all these guys know me. They know when I started, so they know my whole story. Don't worry, I'm not hiding anything from anybody. I'm an open book. No, I don't use indicator to count waves. Can I recommend any online resource for learning forex trading for beginners? Oh, you can go if you're really a beginner. No, we're not gonna hide it from you. Don't worry. If you're really a beginner, go to babypip.com. You will learn a lot of good stuff there. If you're an absolute beginner, if you're not that beginner and you want to learn anything about wave analysis, read the book. You still have to read the book to take my course. Believe me, you go and you read the book, the Elliott Wave Theory, the Elliott Wave Principles. It's free on elliottwave.com. You will read the book because you have to read the book to come to take my course, right? I don't read the book for you. You read the book. But when you read that book and you're totally confused how to count waves, come to me. I'll show you. I'll show you why you can never count waves by reading that book. By the way, there was one Elliott Wave. I don't know. I really hate to mention people in my webinars, especially if I don't know if they're present. But there's one guy with putting Elliott Wave on his name who was he was wanted even to teach me Elliott Wave, which is funny, by the way. Was trolling my charts for a while, and he had his count all messed up. And and the problem, he has it all messed up because he read the book and he thinks that it was so simple. You have to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC. It's not that easy, and that is why most of them get it wrong. There's a lot of bogus people out there who get it wrong, and the reason my analysis is different from theirs is that I could identify for you what is a single wave. I'll show you how to identify the waves. What is one, and how do you find how many waves is in that one wave? That's what we teach you to do. So when you're looking at the Aussie, what was the argument about the Aussie trade? And here's what I call fixing the chart. We call this fixing the chart. And I always tell my traders, don't fix the darn chart, right? Don't write things that are imaginary. If it's not there, it's not there. Don't try to make it look like it's there. Don't try to make it happen. So you're in a daily chart and you're looking at this wave coming down. And honest to God, like I said, you have to get off that drugs if you can see 5 wave in here. If any one of you can see 5 wave from here, please tell me what drugs you're using. I see 3 waves. Do you see 5? If you see 5, say yes. Well, there was one Elliott waver who saw 5. So I told him to stop using that stuff he's using. It's not good for his health. You start imagining things. There isn't 5 waves in there. It's just clear. It's crystal clear. There's 3 waves in there, right? And if you don't know that, and here's the problem. Here's why he doesn't know that. He read the book, and the book said, hey, you have to have 5-3. You have to have a 5 wave down. The book told him that you're going to have a 5 wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to have a 3 wave. Then you're going to have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to have a 3 wave. Then you're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what he did, he's coming into the chart and he's looking for that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And he can't find it. It's not there. He's lost. He has no idea what he's looking at, right? He's totally lost. So he says, don't worry, I'll fix that. I'm a magician. I'll fix it. So I'll make this 1. I'll make this 2. And somewhere in here, I'm going to put the 3. I don't care that it's one piece. I'll put the 3 here. I'll put the 4 here. And I'll put the 5 here. And hey, you want to argue with me? I'm a super relative. I know what I'm doing. No, you don't. You don't know what you're doing. And the idea he doesn't know because he's in a correction and he thinks he's in an impulse. And that's the bogusness of a lot of these guys out there who thinks they know what Elliott Wave is. And I said they think they know it because they know not that they know not. You're looking at it. I mean, anybody who tries to sell this as a 5 wave is going to say he's crazy. This guy's crazy. No, I'm not talking about any person in particular. I'm talking about the concept of people who are learning Elliott Waves. If you know who I'm mentoring, that's okay. You don't have to call any names in here. Right? But the concept is wrong. You have no idea what you're doing if you're looking at the charts as that. This is a big corrective structure. Let me show you why it's a corrective structure. It's easy to see. This is a corrective structure. Right? This move down is a corrective structure. It is not a motive structure. So the first wave is not a motive wave. The first wave is a corrective wave. It's in a downtrend, but it's in a corrective downtrend. You have 2 types of trends. Right? By the way, this wave going up is a 3-wave structure, and that is one complete structure. It's over. We're going to make a 3-wave structure in here. 1, 2, 3. And then we were going to make another 3-wave structure up. That may take about 20, 30 years, but that's how the chart is going to move. That would be great because if you only have $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 account, I don't allow you to take the course. I literally don't allow you to take the course because I don't think it's going to make any much difference in your trading if you just have only $2,000. Actually, some of you may know because I've told you not to take the course. It's not going to help you. You must have money to trade before you can. Like I said, there are certain things you need to have. When you Skype me, I'm going to let you know all of them. I really don't want to go through all the details here. And some of you may want to take the course, and I will not allow you to take it for different reasons. Don't worry, it's not because I want to chase anybody away, but I have principles, and I don't think if what I'm going to give you is not going to help you, then there's no need to waste your money and time. If you have $2,000 and I make you the best trader in the world, in 1 year you're going to make another $2,000. Then that would not change your life, right? So you should not. If you're 94, you're starting to troll. You're not very smart if you do things like that. Believe me. Don't waste your time. Here's the thing I'll tell you. Add value to your time. If you're trying to troll the webinar, you're wasting your time, and doesn't add value to you as a person. I know you're hiding behind some name, but as a person, you still exist, right? And it doesn't add value to you. So don't waste your time because I totally ignore you. Let's go. So, okay, guys, I think that's enough. We've been here for a long while. Thank you for coming, everybody. I really, really glad to see so many of you here. We finally hit 200. Hope the next time we get 300 people in the room. All right. Great. Skype me, add me to Skype, and we'll talk. So everybody have a great time. Trade with care. Remember, there's a nice week coming ahead. We should make a lot of money. See all of you. Take care. Thanks for coming. Bye bye.